All right. This video has been a lot. There have been a decent number of people that have asked me to give my thoughts on the untimely, and I mean untimely passing of Kobe Bryant. And unfortunately, growing up, well, to be honest, until just recently, I was always saying Kobe Bryant. Yeah, I'm embarrassed by that, but I did find out I wasn't the only one. But let me just put it this way. It's no secret that I'm not the, I guess you could say, typical male. What I mean by that is I was never big into sports or, athletics or cars or anything. I was always the bookworm, cartoons, anime, that kind of stuff. But I knew of the name because growing up in public school, it was not strange at all to see, well, the other guys having jerseys and whatnot and talking about the games. And of course, I couldn't follow the conversations, but I was well aware of who Kobe was. And I can't, and that's why, I kind of opened the video with that because I can't just sit up here and say, my favorite Kobe game was this or how many points he made. I have no idea about any of that, but I knew who he was. And the crazy thing was when the news dropped on Sunday, I was in my room as always working on some I was working on some social media stuff, and I was on Instagram and I saw Nancy from the Oval because I follow her on Instagram, and she posted the report from TMZ, and I was a bit confused because it just didn't look legit because I think her caption, and I don't want to misquote her because I was stunned when I saw the post because it just did not seem real. It's like, wait a minute, is this some kind of meme, some kind of hoax? Is she posting this just to say, hey guys, this thing has been floating around, don't buy it? And it says exclusive, Kobe Bryant killed in helicopter crash, everyone else on board dead too. TMZ.com. And once again, it's just one of those things where what? And she said, oh my God, say it isn't so. If you know me, you know what a fan I am of Kobe Bryant. My heart is broken, no words. My condolences to his family. And I didn't really, know what to think about that because it just seemed like out of the blue. I went to Twitter. For whatever reason, my trending section was blank. I don't know if it was re-uploading or what was going on. Then I switched to my phone to pull up Twitter, and that's when I saw Kobe. I went to Facebook. I saw some friends who I know are diehard sports fans. They retweeted it. They reposted articles, and some of them just said, oh my God, I can't believe it. And, as the day rolled on, misinformation being spread like Rick Fox and other people being involved in the crash. But then we found out real facts. Gigi, his 13-year-old daughter, as well as the pilot, what was it, a wife who was on the plane. And unfortunately, her husband and children no longer have her in their life. It was a mother, a father, and I believe a daughter. And I'm just blown away. And I know I probably missed out on a couple people, but the fact that there were so many there are so many broken families, communities, friends, co-workers, everything else in between, just left in shambles because of the one crash. And the thing that really stunned me was the fact that I wasn't right Sunday. I just didn't feel right. I remember where I was when I heard about the deaths of Michael Jackson, who I grew up listening to the music. I still love it to this day, dancing like him, having the jackets in my closet. Some of them I probably can't fit right now, but Prince. I remember I was at work. We were having a party at work, and I remember the news drop. I was eating Buffalo Wild Wings, and I remember hearing the news about that. Whitney Houston, and the list goes on. People who I grew up with in the sense of I may have never went to a concert. I never met them in person, but I was aware of who they were. I grew up with music or actors. I grew up watching their movies. But when it comes to Kobe, once again, never was a sports guy. So I really didn't know much about his athletic persona. But what I did know was that he did more than that. Aside from those allegations from like the early 2000s and whatnot, I don't, excuse me, I don't think I heard anything bad about him at all. And, I just knew he was a family man because I remember just seeing, people repost him and his children, or when he would go on talk shows like Jimmy Kimmel and I think Jimmy Fallon. And, I did watch a couple clips here and there from, whenever I'm like scrolling and how they changed it where the videos will automatically play. I'm like, this guy seems pretty level headed. Seems all around a good dude, and one of those athletes who has a seemingly a good life outside of the court. And I knew he had recently retired, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's pretty all right. And then I remember over the years just thinking back, since he passed, more people have been posting, some of his famous quotes and his inspiration towards how he inspired other people and who inspired him. And I'm like, yeah, I have been seeing these quotes for years without even realizing it that it was Kobe Bryant. And I remember the first time I actually remember seeing him on TV in the sense of my personal, like TV is like Spike Lee's documentary. It was Michael Jackson's journey from Motown to Off the Wall. Kobe Bryant was one of the celebrities in the documentary. And I remember him talking about Michael being an inspiration to him in the sense that he asked him one time, like, so how hard do you practice? Like, when you're dancing, getting ready for a performance, he's like, I just dance until I physically cannot walk anymore. And that's how he took that attitude and translated to the basketball court. And, watching some of these friends, family, fans, colleagues just talk about his work ethic and how that inspired them, that took me back to the documentary when he talked about Michael Jackson. So to me, that's like my Kobe connection, if you will, through that one documentary. And I've been watching interview clips here and there. And yeah, a class act. There's just so much to say, but just a class act. And I cannot even imagine what the fans of Kobe who have been following his career, from his first couple seasons to when he retired. I know that's like a next level. But if anything, I feel like his death really did hit home in the sense that you just never know. I mean, when it came back to like, Michael, Prince, Whitney and whatnot, so many celebrities in general where if you hear about their troubled life when it comes to like drugs or they have a reckless lifestyle, and then when they finally pass and it's, because of because of shooting, because they were in like some sort of bad area or whatever, it's not that relatable. But when it comes to Kobe, it's like 41, married, a few kids. I forgot the exact number. I'm sorry. Is it like, I know he just had a newborn. His oldest was 17. His 13-year-old was in the plane with him. I mean, the helicopter with him. And it's just one of those things where you just kind of sit back and go, wow. And then this meme, well, not even a meme, but, this quote just going around. And I remember, seeing it over the past few months, about the whole thing about it really is an underrated blessing to leave your home and come back safely. And that's true, because you have to just think of the fact that it was just a routine trip. I've been watching I read a couple articles and I saw an interview about the reason why he takes a helicopter. And I think that on the Kev on Stage, Righteous and Ratchet podcast, they talked about how, for Kobe and the people aboard, it was like a rich person's carpool, a casual, hey, let's get in this mode of transportation to get to point A to point B, like we always do. But then I did read some reports about the whole situation about there being a lot of cloud or fogs, and it was a lot of other airborne vehicles that did not travel because of the news or police reports or whatever, or the police warnings, if you will, about not flying in this cloud coverage. But I believe the pilot lost control due to the fog. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did watch a couple news reports on this. So if I misspeak, if I say anything that's not correct, I apologize. But that was just a trap. And unfortunately, when I was scrolling online getting more intel, because on Instagram, kind of like Facebook, when you're scrolling, and if you like stay on a video for like 3 seconds, it automatically plays. I unfortunately did see a clip of the helicopter losing control and then falling to the ground, and just a fiery explosion, and that just messed me up. And again, it's just the fact that I didn't really know of Kobe that much, but his death still shook me more than some of these celebrities who I grew up watching or listening to their music for damn near my life, the entire lifetime. That says something. And I saw this amazing article, and when I say the title might sound a bit controversial, but when you read the article and look at the title in terms of context, I feel like that related to me on so many levels. And I want to pull up the article, and if I can, I will find a link and put in the top comment below. If you could just bear with me for 1 second, I apologize. I should have had this pulled up, but this was like an impromptu video that I didn't even know what to say. But let me get it here for you. It's New York Daily News. It's their Facebook. DL Hughley shared it. It said, the title was, "You didn't have to like Kobe to be crushed by his death." And that felt so real to me because the caption says, "Perspective. It's why my wife, who couldn't care less about basketball, was crying yesterday. Kobe's cockiness was inviolable." I know I'm saying that wrong, but Bryant grew and matured. Just thinking about his final moments on that helicopter with his daughter is enough to drown any human in sorrow, basketball fan or not. I think that's what really did it for me. It's not just the fact that, I knew of him from his celebrity, being an athlete and everything, but that really wasn't why I was shook. It was just like the fact that 41, it's just, and then the fact that it was a helicopter crash. Because at first I'm like, whoa, was it a collision with another helicopter or a plane? But the fact that it just lost control like that, and that was the end of it. And then as the day went on, you find out about his daughter. Then you find out about, everyone else aboard. And just the fact that I did see a clip yesterday of the husband of the woman that was on the plane when it crashed. And the fact that he had to tell his children that mommy isn't coming home. That just it's just I can't even. And then I did read I saw on the podcast on Kevin on Stage again. I think it was Melissa, his wife, that brought it up, or was it Kevin? I forgot who said it, but just the thought, something I didn't even want to think about, of being on a plane like that. And as a parent, you want to protect your child, but when you're in a situation like that, when the helicopter lost control and it's like, there's nothing you can do, or just holding on to your child, or just feeling like there's nothing you can do to save them. It's like I can't even fathom that, and I hope I never have to experience it. But all I can say is the outpouring of support that I've been seeing online is astonishing. Not just for Kobe, but because because Kobe being the celebrity, that he would be in the headlines more. But I love the fact that more people are bringing up the reality of, it wasn't just Kobe and his daughter, but there are other families, there were other just communities, if you will, broken over what happened. And just seeing that his legacy on and off the basketball court is being remembered through these stories, these pictures, and seeing all these news reporters, sports anchors. And I'm talking like I saw this hashtag going on this morning, girl dad, about this viral report that a female reporter was giving about an interview she had with Kobe. And it's like, again, me not really being linked to him like that. It's just like you get a sense of who a person was or is based off the way other people felt after their interaction with them. And just seeing more people talk about how, I think Shaq, I was listening to a video from the Breakfast Club about Shaq, feeling sick, and just that he was glad that he and Kobe were able to bury the hatchet, so to speak, in regards to like their rivalry and whatnot, and the fact that he has 4 rings and he couldn't have gotten 3 without Kobe. And then I think it was Shaq's son who just got a message from Kobe like the night before, that morning, and it really is something else. And then LeBron James' Instagram post, I read that, and once again and I feel, I'm not really a crier kind of person. Like, I don't really show my emotions, but I've been to like family funerals where I don't shed a tear at all. And it's just the person I am. I just don't really show my emotion. But then when you read posts from people who you've never met about how another person that you've never met felt, left an impact on their life, you almost get teary eyed. It's like, dang. So there's just no words to express how to feel about this, aside from, not to sound generic, but this is truly meant to go out to those who have been affected by the loss, especially not just Vanessa, the wife of Kobe, but his other children, his other daughters, the family, and of course all the other victims in the helicopter. It's just, you just never know. Just like people talk about, leaving your front door, but no, you like getting out of bed in the morning. If you're even, blessed enough to wake up the next morning, you just never know. So I think what this really does mean to me is the fact that just because I didn't know of Kobe that well, the fact that I felt such an impact of his death really did kind of shake things up for me, in the sense that we shouldn't let things like this be the reason we decide to kind of, change things, because it's easy to say, okay, I need to, do this, do that. But no, we shouldn't just let this pass by because, once they do like the funeral, the memorial, or whatever kind of gesture, because I've been reading things like, him being inducted into the Hall of Fame early, no voting due to the circumstances, and a petition about, changing the logo for the NBA, I believe. But I just don't want it to be like a temporary sense of me living my life to the fullest for the next few days. And then when the Kobe, oh, excuse me, there was a gnat flying around. I apologize. But then, as things, I don't want to, and this isn't to underplay, but, kind of cool down in the media, if you will, because of the next big tragedy. No. I want this to kind of stick, in the sense that I really will do the best I can to be more, I guess you could say, aware, because I think if anything else, this reminded me of my mortality. We aren't here forever. We don't know when we're leaving, but the most important thing is leaving an impact, whether it be in one person's life or 100,000 or 1,000,000. Just being able to see that if tomorrow is my last day, then Thursday comes around, people, if they can just say, I had a good memories of him. And that's the and I remember, like, when my uncle passed, the last time I saw him was at homecoming at church. The last time I remember him laughing, talking in the parking lot, I was joking around how, hey, they ran out of fried chicken downstairs, and and won't no need of going down there for a plate. And I remember his untimely death like a few weeks later. And I remember at the funeral, I wasn't sad because of the fact that my last memory was a happy one of him. So I just feel like, yeah, it really is. Like, for example, Michael Jordan, in terms of basketball, that's the most I know about Michael Jordan, is the fact that Space Jam. So let's say when Michael Jordan passes, I might like, damn, Michael Jordan, because, I grew up, I was a 90s baby, 91. That's when I was born. I remember Michael Jordan. But the fact that I didn't feel any kind of fanboy or sports fan sense of Kobe, yet his death still hit me so. Sorry, big truck in the parking lot hit me so hard. That just damn. But I did see a report before I started recording that they were able to recover all the bodies of the victims from the crash site, and my heart just goes out to everybody involved, family, friends. The people who were there, at the scene, the people who saw the helicopter spiral out of control and, crash. That's something you just can't shake. And I really wish I did not come across that video, because I was not actively looking for it. I was literally just scrolling on Instagram like I always do. And it's just started playing. But the man left an impact in more ways than one. That's really all I can say. But it's not often I will do videos like this, but I've been trying to find the words to actually say, because I felt like, not being someone who really followed Kobe, and again, like I said at the beginning of the video, mispronouncing his name for a majority of my time knowing him, and finding out, oh wow, that's embarrassing. But I felt like I just had to say how I felt, and it's the fact that we should definitely use this as a reminder that we aren't here forever. But most of us know that, I guess the thing is, like, you just never know when it's going to be the lies. Tell people how you feel while you're still here. If any, I mean, something that's kind of kept me going the past couple weeks is I know this is a bit too personal, but yeah, a crush that was unrequited and just got to the point of manipulation on her end. I'm just like, I just need to let go of these people who don't know how they feel towards me, how they feel about me, how I fit into their life. I need to focus on what I'm doing with my life and the people who are there for me. And that's been a comfort over the past couple of weeks. As you know, I've been stressing over money, getting stuff for car repairs and everything. And I just like, okay, you need to just calm down. You've made it this far in life. Things will work out the way they're supposed. That's another great reminder. Like, things will work out the way they're supposed to be. And I saw this great quote on TV1's social media, ironically enough, a few hours before I saw the Instagram post about Kobe. It was like sometimes God isn't trying to hurt you. Sometimes he's trying to teach you a lesson. And as you know, things have just been, for me, having that bad cold to the deer with the deer hitting my car, and now finding out all these things I need to buy for my car. It's just like, what's the lesson in this? Still trying to figure that out. But I guess it's the fact that sometimes things just happen, regardless of prep time, regardless of taking every step that you can to make it from point A to point B and back again safely. Sometimes things just happen. But yeah, I mean, I literally ever since the news broke, I just been thinking, like, I haven't been like sick or anything, but I just been shook or shaken by the experience. But kind of like after Prince passed away, it's like some of these people, you really don't know much about them outside of their celebrity, if you will. But when you have people come up and talk about how this person did this or donated to this cause or helped this person out or how they were behind the scenes, I feel like that adds more of an appreciation and respect for them. Because it's one thing to win a crap ton of awards, top of the charts in music, or breaking records on the field athletics, but to know more about the human side of a celebrity makes them far more relatable and makes me appreciate them even more. Because I've been actively looking at Kobe interviews and videos. Never done that before in my life, but you could just tell this guy was a good man. So once again, thoughts and prayers not only to Kobe's family, but also everyone involved in the accident. And if you have any pleasant memories of Kobe or any favorite quotes, make sure you take a moment. You can post them in the comment section below. And with that being said, I hope everyone tunes in to the haves and the have-nots tonight. Just something to kind of get my mind off things. It's hard. And that's the thing. The fact that I wasn't really a sports fan, but still shaken by Kobe's passing. So hopefully the next video I post is kind of back to normal kind of thing. But taking a moment to remember a person like this is something that shouldn't be glossed over. Like I said, I really wanted to take time to get my thoughts together, even though I do feel this video is kind of raw, unscripted, but even more tragedy. What was it? A plane crash in Afghanistan. I did see about a helicopter or a plane crash here in the U.S. Not to mention earthquake in was it Jamaica or Cuba? So it's like when you're trying to process one tragedy, it's hard to even fathom that there are multiple things going on around us every single day, every single hour. And also I saw this other great quote floating around, and it's the fact that the tragedy of Kobe Bryant affected so many people, even those who really didn't know him. Or as that article said, it's like you didn't have to know Kobe or like him for his death to shake you. Just realize, there are people around you every day with issues, sickness, disease, or problems. And you never know when the last time you see them is going to be. And I think some of the Kobe stories that really hit me are the people who have said, I had just seen him like Saturday night or a few hours before the crash. We had our last hug, our last conversation, our last message to each other on the phone, or what wasn't he and LeBron together in person? Because I saw this thing about them at a game together, and I could be wrong, but or that was that like a clip from an old footage those two together. But either way, there were just people talking about how it was only a few hours ago I had seen him. It was only a few hours ago I talked to him for the last time, and just try to speak with love. I get it. We get angry from time to time, and I'm not trying to preach to you because I need to get better at that. Not speaking out of anger, but just like holding grudges and not really properly healing sometimes, where there have been times where I just cut people off and, just never speak to them again. But I don't know. There's a lot to learn. So yeah, I don't want to start. I've been rambling long enough, but take care, guys, and I will talk to you all soon.